My mother, who left me at a fire station when I was 2, demands I pay for her retirement after she saw me on a Forbes list. My mother dropped me off at a fire station when I was 2 years old, not during hard times, not because she couldn't afford me. She left me because her boyfriend didn't want kids around. The firefighters found a note pinned to my jacket that said, "Can't do this anymore." That was it. No name, no medical information, nothing. Just dumped me like I was a broken toy she didn't want to fix. My dad's parents found out through the news. Local story about an abandoned toddler. They recognized me from a birthmark on my neck. My grandparents raised me like their own. Grandfather ran a tech company he built from nothing. Taught me coding when I was 8. By 15, I developed 3 apps that sold for decent money. Grandmother made sure I understood business, had me sit in board meetings, and learn from real decisions. When they died during my senior year of college, they left me everything. I took their company and transformed it into something bigger. By 30, I had contracts with major healthcare systems across 12 states. Last year, the company was valued at $200 million. Forbes did a 30 under 30 feature. My picture was everywhere. Articles about the abandoned baby who became a CEO. I donated millions to children's charities, funded programs for abandoned kids, and tried to make something good from my start. Never once did I think about the woman who left me. She was nothing to me. 3 weeks ago, she knocked on my office door. 51 years old, designer clothes that didn't quite fit right, fresh cosmetic work on her face. She walked in like she owned the place, sat down without invitation, and said we needed to discuss her retirement package. I thought security had let in a confused client. Then she said she was my mother, pulled out her phone to show me the Forbes article, pointed at my picture, then at herself. "Same eyes," she said. "I always knew you'd do well." She laid out her demands like a business proposal. Monthly payments of $50,000, a house in Florida where she wanted to retire, a car, health insurance, spending account for travel. She actually had a folder with listings of homes she'd picked out, all over $3 million. Said it was the least I could do after she gave me life. When I sat there speechless, she started explaining how she'd sacrificed her youth to have me, how those 2 years of motherhood had derailed her entire life. The boyfriend she'd chosen over me had left her anyway. She'd struggled for decades, working retail, living paycheck to paycheck. Now it was time for me to step up. She started showing up everywhere, my office, my gym, and the coffee shop I went to every morning, always with new demands, new calculations of what I owed her. She'd researched my net worth, my assets, my charitable donations, kept saying I gave millions to strangers, but nothing to the woman who created me. She found my home address, started leaving gift catalogs in my mailbox with items circled, jewelry, vacations, spa treatments, called my assistant 20 times a day, demanding meetings, sent emails with subject lines like, "Your mother's bills," and "Urgent family matter." I had security escort her out twice. She told them she'd go to the media, tell them what kind of son refuses to help his mother. Yesterday, she crossed the final line, showed up at a board meeting with potential investors, walked right into the conference room, announced she was my mother, and started talking about how proud she was of her successful son. The investors looked confused. She sat down next to me, put her hand on my arm, and started discussing how we were exploring family business opportunities. I had to apologize, postpone the meeting, and watch 8-figure deals potentially evaporate. This morning, I invited her to my office. She arrived with a real estate agent, actually brought someone to discuss properties I'd be buying for her. I let them both sit down, get comfortable. Then I pulled out a file I'd had my lawyer prepare. The abandonment report from the fire station, the note she'd left, police records showed she'd never reported me missing, never tried to find me, articles about my grandparents fighting for custody against the state because my biological mother couldn't be found. I read her own words back to her. "Can't do this anymore." She tried to interrupt, explain, and justify. The real estate agent looked horrified, started edging toward the door. I kept reading. Foster care evaluations were conducted before my grandparents got custody. Therapy records about abandonment trauma. The agent left without a word. My mother started crying, saying I was twisting things, that she was young, that she'd made mistakes. Then her tears dried up, and she got nasty. Said she'd contest my grandparents' will, claim elder abuse, and say they'd stolen her child. I laughed, told her my lawyers would love to see her try. She threatened to go public with her story. I reminded her that abandoning a child was a crime, that there was no statute of limitations on what she'd done in our state. She went pale, started bargaining, saying she'd settle for less, just $20,000 a month. I called security. As they escorted her out, she screamed that she was owed something for giving birth to me. The security guard, who'd heard everything, turned to her and said, "Lady, you're owed exactly what you gave that kid. Nothing."